Devin Haney is the undisputed lightweight champion after absolutely schooling George Kambosos over 12 rounds. It was as comfortable as win as you could get from Devin Haney. Was never in any trouble at any point in the fight, really. Kambosos had moments here and there, but again, it was nothing to scream about. It was pretty comfortable for Haney. And at 23, he is the first undisputed champion the lightweight division has seen since Pernell Whitaker. And yeah, a great performance from Devin Haney. Pretty much, I'm not going to say I went exactly how I thought, but it pretty much did to an extent. I thought Haney would win over the decision. I felt like he would just be too much for Kambosos. I just felt like, I said before in my preview that I really wanted Teofimo versus Haney because I think that would have been a bigger test for him. I know Kambosos beat Teofimo, but I maintain if Teofimo did not fight like an absolute lunatic in that fight, I think he would have beaten Kambosos. And I also think that he is the better fight, even though he did lose. But either or, I mean, Kambosos is still a good fighter, but I just felt like Haney was that level above him, man. I think you saw it in this fight, I did worry whether the judges will rob him, Haney, but in the end it was, thankfully they got it right, even though I say they got it right. Two of the judges had it 116-112 to Haney, meaning they gave Kambosos 4 rounds. When I was scoring it in my card, I had it, if I can find it here, I had it 119-109 to Haney. I gave Kambosos the first, and no, I gave Kambosos the second, and I gave him, that was it actually, I only gave him 1 round in the whole fight. Maybe you could stretch it and give him maybe 2, you'd be very, if you're struggling past 3, I think, to give him any kind of round. I think it was clearly Haney's fight. I don't see any argument to why it could be. Kambosos says he thought it was a close fight. I guess it was after the fight, so he's going to think a bit. Maybe he's going to look at it clearly because he's just come out of it, but it wasn't. It was a one-sided domination for Haney, who, like I said, deserves credit. Like I was saying before, he went over to a foreign country at 23, had all these sort of stipulations, had his dad eventually in his corner, but he didn't know if he was going to have him, and had to agree to a rematch clause, which is so jarring. Why does Kambosos get a rematch clause but Teofimo didn't? I just don't get this. Weird. So we're gonna have to see this again, unfortunately, and it will go the same way. I think for this lightweight division, maybe it's good because maybe we can see some clear contenders. I mean, I would personally, for Haney, like to see him fight. I would like to see him fight Tank, but I don't think he'll fight Tank yet. I do think that Tank will take a different fight, but I think after this, I think Lomachenko will be the next one for him, and I'd love to see how he does against Loma. I'd love to see him against Shakur Stevenson. There's so many great fights out there for him, but they're saying he's going to be Australia again as well. I don't understand that. It has to be in the States. Haney's a champion now. He got all the belts. There's nothing Kambosos has all in his favour. So, yeah, to me, has to be. I don't want to see a rematch, but we're going to see it. And it's going to have to be in the States. It can't be anywhere else. But, yeah, though, a great performance for Haney. Like I said, was comfortable. Never looked like he was in any trouble. Kambosos had moments where he looked like he was trying to do something, but he just wasn't doing enough. And I think against a guy like Haney, like I was saying, I think you need to stick on him and smother him and make it horrible for him. And Kambosos didn't do that. He was trying to fight. He almost was trying to fight Haney's fight, and you're never going to beat him at that. And I think, he'd be disappointed. I think Kambosos that he didn't do more in the fight, but like I said, I just think he's a level apart. Haney, I think Haney's just a better fighter out of the two, and didn't really get out first gear, to be honest. He was pretty comfortable. Never really had to push himself to any kind of limits. I think people like Jojo Diaz actually gave Haney a tougher fight. Even though Leonardo's got his head boxed off for majority of the fight, he had moments where he was trying to take when he rocked Haney, so maybe he did better. I don't know. He didn't really do much, Kambosos, to really warrant any kind of excitement in the rematch, but it is what it is. We will see it again. I felt he did a lot better in the Teofimo fight though. Kambosos, I think when Teofimo fought very aggressively, and I think because of that, Kambosos was sort of able to tame that anger and able to pick his shots a bit better. He has very quick hands, Kambosos, but Haney just did make that mistake. He was calm in there, composed. The atmosphere didn't really phase him, and the atmosphere wasn't really that great, to be honest, considering how much they were talking about it. It was very quiet in there, so yeah, but a good win now for Haney. Legacy defining moment for him, and hopefully he can continue. He's good, he's very humble. He seems to be somebody who's always getting better, and I do look at him and I do feel like he's susceptible to being knocked out. I had no question in this fight. I thought he'd win. I really wanted to see him against a power puncher. This is why I want to see him against Teofimo or against Tank. Kambosos is a decent power puncher, but nothing too... I think he's above average, Kambosos, when it comes to him. How hard he hits. But yeah, just my quick thoughts though. A brilliant performance from Devin Haney. Deserves it. It was a brilliant victory, going over to a champion's backyard and beating him and doing it decisively. That's exactly what makes these legacies for these fighters. And sky's the limit. There's so many great fights out there for him. Like I said, Tank Davis, Ryan Garcia, maybe Teofimo again. Can come back up. Maybe we see him against Lomachenko. Shakur Stevenson possibly come up. There's so many intriguing matchups for him, but a guy who's slick as him is going to be a problem for everybody, because once he gets to a room, he's very hard to stop. And like I said, I recently seen him against Power Puncher. I think if he passes that test, then it will show you he is. I mean, he is for real, but it would really, I think, prove a lot to myself and I think for other critics of his, because obviously there is still the question of whether, if he's in trouble, can he bite down the gumshoe and go through. But it's irrelevant. No, a brilliant victory. He's now the WBA, WBC, WBO, IBF World Champion. He also he rejected the WBC franchise belt, which I think now it's only one champion has that franchise belt. So they need to scrap that franchise belt, WBC franchise belt. In general, it's complete just nonsense. It's a nothing belt. Just them trying to create more belts and create more money for themselves. These are governing bodies, but what are you going to do? Boxing's already in the gutter in that sense. But yeah, just my thoughts though. A great fight from Haney, and yeah, until next time.